Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start, and other people can jump in as we go along. My name is Karen Corp. For those of you I haven't had a chance to meet, I look forward to meeting you. I also have Ashley Rast on the call with us. She's the rec program assistant, and you've probably seen her name on a lot of emails, so she'll be helping out tonight. If you have any questions during the meeting, there's going to be a lot of people on this call. So here's my thought. You can send a message in the chat, and Ashley will try and answer it. And if not, if you can send an email to me later, or if we have time at the end of the call, I'll take questions. But please try and hold your questions.
No problem.
Okay, and
That's
if
cool.
you're
I work for Ford Motor Company. They hold the same rules just like you are. I'm good with it.
Okay, whoever's talking right now, could you mute your computer, please? It's going over top, I think, of what I'm saying. So just make sure your computer's muted and your phone is muted. Okay, all right. So normally we break this meeting up into a couple meetings, but tonight's for everyone. So we're gonna talk about Challenge, we're gonna talk about Rec 2, we're gonna talk about Classic, and we're gonna talk about high school. So a lot of this will pertain to everyone, and some of it will be specific. So when we're specifically talking about your program, try and pay extra attention. When we're talking about another program, it's a good time to take a break. So bear with me through that. Just to advance, give me 1 second. Okay. So again, what we're going to talk about tonight, a little bit about Loudoun Soccer in general, who your contacts are, some of the key policies, how to communicate with your team. We got some updates with a new app that I will talk about as intelligently as I possibly can. And then some of the specific program formats and the rule variations for your program. Again, we've already talked about this. We are recording this, so if you want to go back and watch it again, it'll be online. And obviously for those that missed it, they'll be able to catch it. Okay, so again, the things we're going to talk about tonight, I know some of you also might have younger kids. You might be even coaching a younger team. Kindergarten, preschool, Rec 1, that meeting was held last night. So tonight we're talking about Rec 2, Challenge 1, which those are, Challenge 1 is U9, U10. Rec 2 is 3rd grade through 6th grade. And then Challenge 2 is 5th and 6th grade. And then Classic is 7th and 8th grade, and obviously high school. Just quickly, we do have some year-round opportunities. I'm not really going to focus on this, but just so you guys are aware, we do have other opportunities besides our fall and our spring program. Okay, online coaching support, super important. I get emails every day like, where can I find this? Where is this? So on our website, which actually I'm going to click and go there real quick so you can see it. Okay, so under the Rec dropdown, Coaches, there's 3 tabs: Coaches Info Center, Coaches Education, and the Coaching Extras. The Info Center is where like all the documents are. It's where some of you probably went to volunteer. This is where you can download the Stack Team app that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. Just conduct, if you needed to give a parent conduct form to somebody to remind them how to behave on the sideline, it's on here. The concussion information, so all that kind of information administratively is on the Info Center. Also on this page are the office administrators. There's my contact, Jamie for practice schedules, Darren. So it's an important page for you to know where it is. The other page, the Coach Education, that's where you can find coaching guides, information about clinics and equipment pickup. So just make sure you, maybe after this call, take a quick look at our website. Again, that was under Rec. and coaches. Okay, super important. Okay. All right, so this Saturday is our equipment pickup. It says Loudon Soccer Park. It's really, I mean, it's here, but it's next door in the commuter parking lot. You'll see us set up over there. And here are the times we'd like you to come to pick up your equipment, just so that 500 people don't all show up at the same time. These times are also tied to some on-field clinics, which we'll go over in a minute. So make sure you know when the time is that you should come. And again, you can come, your assistant coach can come, but the assistant coach will be getting a t-shirt. The head coach will be getting a coach's shirt along with all the coaching equipment that you need. And then Sunday is equipment pickup only. So Saturday is equipment pickup and on-field clinic. Sundays for anybody who can't come Saturday and wants to just come pick up their. Okay, so we're going to go over rosters, officials, gear, equipment, uniforms, and player awards. Okay, rosters. I always think this is funny when I say this because rosters have already changed a bunch since we posted them on Friday. So hopefully, if you looked at your roster, what's today? Tuesday? If you looked at your roster Saturday, hopefully you've looked at it again to make sure it hasn't changed. Unfortunately, the system we use, Sports Connect, does not notify you when we make a roster change. And to be honest, between me and Ashley the last couple of days and the emails we've gotten, we haven't had the time to communicate all the changes. The parents mostly know, but you as the coaches might not know. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on your roster right now. Only players on your official roster can practice with your team. I know that sounds crazy, but we get kids who, you know, they registered yesterday and they asked for something and we can't give it to them, and they'll just show up and try and play with that team anyway. So please try and stick with the players that are only rostered on your team. And again, you'll go to back to school night and someone will come up to you and say, hey, I heard you're coaching soccer. Can I sign Sarah up for your team? And you say, sure. Well, but then come find out your team is full. So if anybody does come up to you or one of your kids, just direct them to me or Ashley, and we can see if we have room. Okay, obviously you guys have done this first part, or you would not be assigned to a team. If you don't have an assistant coach yet and you want an assistant coach, what I would do is check with the parents on your team to see if anyone would want to help you. If they do, they have to go through the same system that you did. They have to go online, register to coach, do the background check, and then we'll get them assigned to your team. And they are not allowed to work with your team until they do so. Required player equipment. So this is a good kind of clip to send to your team. They have to have shin guards, size 4 ball for grades 3 through 6, and size 5 for grades 7 through 12. They don't have to wear cleats. Most kids do. They can wear tennis shoes. And then uniforms. A lot of questions on uniforms, and we'll get to that in a minute. But in fact, I'm going to make a note so I don't forget. The high school jerseys, we are waiting for them to come in. We're hoping they get here before the weekend so we can have them packed up so you can pick them up on Saturday. Again, the shoes, just make sure that, like, if someone comes to you and they played baseball before and it has this toe cleat, I think football might have it too. Soccer cleats cannot have the toe cleat. They can't wear jewelry, which I find interesting watching the Women's World Cup because I feel like there was a lot of jewelry taped up, but you can't have taped jewelry. So hopefully no one's gone out and gotten their ears pierced in the last couple of days. Every season I get questions about hard casts. It's really at the discretion of the referee, but for the most part, if the child is approved to play by their doctor, as long as it's wrapped appropriately, they should be able to play. But again, it's up to the ref on game day. On August 25th and 28th, Dick's Sporting Goods will be having its Loudon Soccer Days, where you could go in and get an extra, does it say on here? I think it's like 20% or something off. But in case you need anything extra that you don't get in your bag this weekend, you can go over to Dick's Sporting Goods to see what they have. They are one of our sponsors. Okay, so uniforms. You may have noticed we are now with Adidas. It's ever changing. I know it gets tiring, but the good news is if you're coaching a team where, say, 6 kids have played before and their old uniform still fits, they can still wear their old uniform. The ones who need the uniform, obviously, are the new players or anyone that's outgrown their old uniform or for some reason can't find it. Currently, everything is ordered online through Soccer Post. Now, they are going to be opening a brick and mortar store here in Leesburg. So hopefully that'll be in the next couple of months. They'll get that store open. So we should be ready for next season. And as far as, I mean, I think price-wise, it's cost efficient to buy the whole kit, where you get the red jersey, the white jersey, black shorts, black socks, but you don't have to order it that way. Like if you have your whole uniform from last season and you're just missing a red jersey, you can order just the red jersey. Also, there's been some questions about the numbered uniforms for classic teams. We are not requiring numbers on those uniforms anymore. So if they have a numbered jersey from last year, that's fine. But when you order a uniform for 7th or 8th grade this year, they do not have numbers on them. Okay, so just a few safety reminders: heading, concussion, slide tackling, and weather-related questions. There's no heading permitted from U11 and younger, and these are the consequences if it happens during a game. There is limited heading allowed in U12, U13, which is 6th and 7th grade, and above that, there's no restrictions. Now, I will say, if you're a 5th or 6th grade girls coach in Rec 2, so this is not challenge, we combined those 2 grades to make a better division, so you weren't playing the same team 2 or 3 times. Your team are going to be made up of a mixture of 5th and 6th graders, so you will be playing with 6th grade rules. So heading will be permitted. And I'll go over that a little bit more as we go through the slides. Concussions, basically any player suspected of sustaining, should be removed from play. If the player is taken to a doctor and has been labeled that they do have a concussion, they cannot come back to play until they have a return to play document from the healthcare provider. And again, that coach's information center I showed you has additional information on concussions there. Slide tackling, not permitted, grades 1 through 6. And again, we talked about the no heading. Weather. I was kind of joking with Ashley today. It's been so dry. It's got to start raining soon. Soccer season is starting. We all know how that goes. I hope I'm wrong. But basically, you will be getting a closure notification. What will happen is once we start using this new app that I'm going to talk about, the notification will come through there. If you don't have the app downloaded, it will also come via email, social media, or text. And just so you guys know, everything except Loudon Soccer Park, which probably 1% of our rec teams are playing on Loudon Soccer Park for practice, the fields are open and closed by the county. So we personally do not make the decision to open or close those fields. So a lot of times what will happen, let's say it's Monday and it's been kind of drizzling all day and you're supposed to have practice at 5 o'clock and it's 2:30 and you haven't heard yet. You're trying to drive home and decide whether or not you're going to practice. We're waiting until 3 o'clock until we get notice from the county. And so I know sometimes it's really tight. If you feel like it's raining hard in your area and you want to cancel practice on your own, you're more than welcome to do that. But just keep in mind, if we do close the fields, please stay off the fields because the county's closing them for a reason, so that they stay in good shape for the entire season. Also, thunder and lightning, we have a 30-minute delay policy. You have to get off the field and get in a building or a car. Okay, team communication. The head coach is the primary point of contact for the team. I'll be probably talking about assistant coaches a lot. I have teams with 0 assistant coaches, and I have teams with 5 assistant coaches. So you could see if a team with 5 assistant coaches, if they all were trying to communicate, the communication might get kind of muddled. So if they have a question, that's great. We want to support that, but have them funnel that through the head coach. And then the head coach can communicate with me, Ashley, or Jamie, or whoever it is that you need to talk to. Okay, the team app. Okay, so we were just brought up to speed on this like 2 weeks ago. This is an app, so it's not Game Changer. Game Changer is gone. So if you've already uploaded your team in Game Changer, you can just forget about it. Because what's going to happen is we are going to, probably this weekend, we're going to take your online team roster and we are going to sync it with the Sports Connect team app. And what it's going to do, it's going to send you, I guess via text, either text or email. I would assume text. Hey, Karen, thank you for coaching with Loudon Soccer. Click here, to start your, and it'll show you where to download the app. The nice thing with this is what should happen, is what they're telling us, is that you won't have to be making these manual changes like you did with Game Changer. In other words, like if I make a change to your game schedule, it should automatically update on the app. It also has push notifications. For those of you that use TeamSnap, it's more similar to that than the clunky Game Changer app. So it's going to be our first season using it. I'm sure there's going to be some bumps. But again, we're waiting till the rosters are like really finalized, which kind of guessing is going to be Friday. And then we'll sync your team and you'll get a text from us with the app information. I'm sure everyone has questions on that because I do. Okay, so just to review the next, actually a couple months, everyone should have a roster. If you don't, please send a chat to Ashley or send me an email because you should be able to access your roster. This Thursday is the special topic coach education that Darren is doing. Equipment pickup and coach clinics are this weekend. Monday is the first week of practice. 30th, I hope to have the game schedules released by then. September 9th is the first Saturday of games. We do have games on Columbus Day weekend, so please make sure the kids on your team know about that. And then October 28th is the final fall game. That's playoffs for Challenge 2 Classic in high school. So we are done by October. And there'll be another slide and we'll talk about the Fall Classic tournament, which is the following weekend, but all regular play will be done by the end of October. Oh, look, here we go. All right, so playoffs, October 28th. Again, this is for Challenge 2, Classic, and high school. For those of you who have not done this before, say you're just moving up from Challenge 1 or from a Rec 2 4th grade team. Basically what happens is you send your scores in, I send you a Google sheet. Every Sunday, you're really good about it. You send me your scores, whether you won or you lost. I keep track of the standings. And then at the end of the season, we form different brackets in your age group for you to have these, this playoff tournament. Okay, so you could have one game that day, you could have 2 games that day. That's October 28th. So just make sure to mark your calendar for that date if you're coaching one of these one of these 3 programs. Okay, and that schedule won't be posted obviously till really that last week because again, we don't know if you're going to be in 1st place or 12th place. So we have to have the standings in order to do that. But just know that's a very busy day. The Fall Classic is our rec tournament. It's November 3rd and 5th. It's for grades 3 through 6, and it's Rec 2, Challenge 1, or Challenge 2. It's an optional tournament. There is a fee for it. Players that play in this tournament have to be currently registered as a rec or a challenge player for the fall season. So they can't have like played volleyball in the fall and decide, oh, I want to play on your tournament team, or they can't be a travel player, that kind of thing. But it's a really fun event. So mark your calendar for that. Okay, practices. You all should have a practice schedule listed in your online calendar. If you don't, that is something Jamie can take care of for you. What we try and do is give everyone what they ask for. Obviously, not everybody gets what they ask for, but let's say you ask for Tuesday, Thursday at 6 o'clock. Everybody wants Tuesday and Thursday at 6 o'clock. So you may have gotten Monday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Friday, but I know Jamie did her best. But if you have any issues with that, again, she's the one to talk to about that. Also, you are guaranteed half of a field. If you get there and you have the whole field to yourself, you know, that's wonderful, but it might not stay that way. Someone might switch nights, or they might want to move to a different field, and you might end up sharing with that team. So always assume that there is going to be someone on the other side of the field from you, because that is the norm. This is a coaches-led session. Again, there's session plans online. Try to end a few minutes early to clean up in case, you know, there's another team waiting to jump on. And here's Jamie's email. It's a good one to have. And again, it was in that contact information I showed you earlier. Oh, and also one more thing about practices that Carolyn asked me to mention. If you are a team and you feel like you're not on a great site, like let's just see if I can pick something. Let's say you're on the Harper Park. You might like Harper Park, but the field's not that great, but maybe it's a great location for you and your family. If you want to move to what I would call a better field, like it might be a field with lights, we have 8 o'clock time slots available. And some of you are thinking, okay, you know, obviously you're not going to take a 3rd grade team out at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night, but if you're a 7th grade team, you might want an 8 o'clock slot. And as we start losing light, you know, at least you would be on a field with lights. So if that's of interest to you, please email Jamie and let her know, and she'll see what we have open. The Saturday schedules, again, I'm working on that right now. You'll see that in your team page when it's done. It'll also be in the app. I mean, it says changes may occur, but you know, once I get that schedule done, I like to keep it as is, but we know how things go. Games reschedules. I really don't like to reschedule games based on things like birthday parties or, well, basically birthday parties. If you're getting married on a Saturday, or your sister's getting married, or you coach 3 teams for me, those are things I need to know. So if you know right now that on October 8th, your sister's getting married in the Outer Banks and you're not going to be here, please let me know. Because we can do a couple things. Make sure your assistant coach is going to be there, or try and move the game to a different day. If it's Thursday before a Saturday game and you suddenly realize your star player is not going to be there on Saturday, we won't be rescheduling the game for that. So just kind of remember, we can make changes, and I'm okay with that, but we need time to do it. So just try not to wait until the last minute. Okay, game day, what to bring. The coach's bag we give you this Saturday. It's going to have a first aid kit. It's going to have a game ball. It's going to have cones. It's going to have some scrimmage vests, extra jerseys, and shin guards aren't going to be in there. But if you have anything lying around, or like some of the kids on your team had siblings that used to play with us, those are all good things to have. This abridged rules document, which is also in that coach's info center. Each age group has its own abridged rules. And when you first start out, it's a lot to remember. So it's good to keep a copy of that, whether it's on your phone or you've printed out a piece of paper. Okay, some important things to remember. Grades 1 through 8, home team wears red, and the away team wears white. And the next question is, how do you know if you're the home team? Sometimes on the old app, it used to show you like a little house icon next to your team, but it doesn't always do that. So if you were listed first, you're the home team. If you're listed second, you're the away team. That's the best way to remember it. And then I would always keep just an extra red or white t-shirt in your bag, just in case one of the kids forgets their shirt, the correct shirt, and they're a long way from home. Also maybe have the parents just tell them, bring those shirts to every game. You just get into the habit. Ask the players to arrive 15 to 20 minutes before kickoff. That way, hopefully they'll be there by the time it's kickoff. And these are all just commonplace things. One of these, though, this warm up, try not to warm up in the goal area because it gets the most use and most wear. So try and warm up either on the side of the field or more in the center of the field. Okay, team and spectator areas. Most of you know this unless you're brand new, but team A's here, team B's here, and your parents are on the opposite side. Believe me, you'll want the parents on the opposite side. You don't want them over here with you. So it'll be you and the kids here. And when you're the coach, I think it's on the next screen. Yeah, the technical area. So for those of you that watch some of the World Cup on TV, you could see, some of the coaches actually sat down, but there's a technical area that runs between like the midfield and the top of the penalty arc. That's kind of where you need to be. Sometimes what'll happen is, let's say team A coach is shooting at this goal and they're down here on offense. This coach might want to encroach down here because he's yelling at Sarah what to do down here. So just remember to stay on your side. And she probably doesn't need that much specific direction anyways, but just keep in mind, try and stay in your lane there, so to speak. Okay, so we've got the FIFA laws of the game, okay, that are changed every year. I don't think there were really any changes this year that I can remember, but nothing that's going to affect you guys. But what we do is we modify these laws to fit youth soccer. And then we form the abridged rules for each program. So like rec to 3rd and 4th grade boys have their own set of rules. And then 5th and 6th grade have their own set of rules. So just make sure you don't need to know all the FIFA laws of the game, but you do need to know the abridged rules for your age group. For example, if you were coaching 2nd grade last year, there were no throw-ins. Obviously on 3rd grade, you have throw-ins. Well, what they allow is they allow a do-over for 3rd grade because they're just learning throw-in. So if they make a mistake the first time, the ref is supposed to allow another throw-in. Obviously, when you're in 9th grade, you don't get a do-over. You get one throw-in. So it's just kind of different rules for different age groups. Okay, I'm going to talk about grades 3 and 4. This is whether it's rec or challenge, it's the same. You're playing 77. That includes the goalkeeper. You're playing 4 10-minute quarters. You get a 1 to 2 minute break in between the quarters, and you get a 5-minute break at half. Now, that doesn't mean at exactly the 10-minute mark, the whistle's going to blow. What it means is if the ball rolls out of bounds at about 9.5 minutes, the ref's probably going to blow the whistle because they don't normally blow the whistle while someone's running down the field. So they're going to find a stoppage in play around the 10-minute mark, and they're going to blow the whistle. Okay, do your best to give everyone their 50% playing time if they attend 1 practice per week. Goalkeepers, I think, is on the next screen, but basically goalkeepers for 3rd and 4th grade, you need to play a different goalkeeper every quarter. So if Sarah played in the first quarter as goalie, she's on the field the rest of the game or sitting on the bench, one of the two. So this is all written down on our website. And I know it can get complicated when you have a lot of kids on your team. And some of you do have 13. We do have a subbing matrix for 13 players. I'm going to double check that it's on the website. And if it's not, I'll make sure it's up there. But I do have a copy of it If any of you have 13 on your roster and you want that subbing matrix, just shoot me an email and I will send it to you directly. Just making a note. Okay. Okay, so goalkeeper, again, goalkeeper. So different goalkeeper each quarter. And if you place them in a goalkeeper, because I know not everyone wants to do that, and sometimes you have to kind of dangle a carrot like, hey, if you do this. Well, our kind of thing is if you play goalkeeper, you get 2 other quarters on the field. That way they're getting their goalkeeper kind of counts as extra playing time. And it kind of helps encourage kids to want to get out there and give it a try. Restarts on grade 3 and 4. Again, throw-ins, the 2 chances. There's direct and indirect free kicks. And I'll show you, I think the next screen talks about something else where I can talk about the 6 yards. I can show you that. You can have penalty kicks, and then there's the build-out line, which is the most confusing thing. So if you don't get this the first time, it's taking me a long time to figure this out, so don't feel bad. Okay, so when you play on a 77 field, there will be a line that's called the build-out line. I call it, if you watch hockey, I call it the blue line, even though it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of how I make my mind to make this work. And what it does is if you are the defending team, so you are this red team, okay, and this white team has the other goalkeeper has the ball. So let's say the red team just kicked the ball and the goalkeeper has picked it up. The goalkeeper is not allowed to punch or drop kick the ball. He has to roll or throw the ball out to his team. But in order to make him successful, we ask that this team, which is now the defensive team, moves back beyond the build-out line. So as you can see, this player right here is retreating. These 2 players are already here. This gives this goalkeeper time to roll the ball out here and to get the play forward. Now, as soon as he's got the ball, or the ball's gone beyond the penalty box, then these players can start entering the area inside the build-out line. So again, it's kind of confusing. It's kind of like, I think in Rec 1, you guys have the same thing where on goal kicks, they couldn't advance, until the goalie kicked the ball, or not the goalie, but the person kicked the ball. It's kind of the same concept. Okay, offsides. Let me see if I have I wish I had a drawing for that. Okay, I'm going to go back because I'm going to try and explain this with offsides too. So what they will do with 3rd and 4th grade, because the kids don't really have the concept of offside yet, is they'll use this build-out line. So let's say this red team was, let's pretend this, we're going to get a picture for this, but let's say this red player was here and they were advancing this way, and he wouldn't be offside until he was beyond the build-out line. Imagining none of these players were there. I know I did not explain that very well. But what I'm saying is in a normal offside position, like this player would have to be here, right? Okay, but let's say none of these defenders were here and these 3 were here. They're not offside on this side of the field, only on that side of the field. And again, I just did not explain that very well. But if you come to the clinic this weekend, Darren will explain that. And I'll take questions about that at the end. And if any of you former 3rd or 4th grade coaches can explain that better, I can have you do that at the end also. Let's read the notes. Not applicable on throw-ins. That's true. You can't be offside on a throw-in, corner kick, or goal kick. Players behind second to last opponent involved in the play. See, it's a difficult concept for players to understand, and it's difficult for me to explain, and it's difficult for the referees to enforce. So also try not to be too upset about it when it gets missed, because we don't have VAR out on your soccer field. So it's definitely going to get missed. Okay, I'm going to move to grade 5 and 6. You'll do a pregame coin toss to determine who's going to kick off and which direction you're going to go. Your substitutions are going to be made at stoppages of play. And here are the stoppages where you can do a substitution. Your teams throw in. The opposing teams throw in if they are also subbing. So you can't sub in if the other team is not subbing. So you need to wait for that. But the ref will tell you any goal kick, any kickoff, an injury or disciplinary situation, and a halftime. Again, 50% playing time for those that attend at least one practice. Goalkeeper, we want 2 different players per game, so 1 each half. You can have more than that if, let's say, you, for some reason, have 4 kids on your team that want to play goalkeeper. You can sub them in when you're doing a regular substitution. You just need to let the referee know that you're subbing in the goalkeeper. Restarts, again, throw-ins, only 1 chance. Direct and indirect free kicks, penalty kicks, and there's no build-out line. So hopefully you guys weren't paying attention to all that. Game lengths for the older age groups, grades 7 through 12. Grades 7 and 8, you're going to play 2 35-minute halves. Grades 9 through 12, you're going to play 2 40-minute halves. So again, we've got the subbing plans online, or you can come up with your own with a spreadsheet, however you want to do it. But just try and get everybody in the game, as much as you can. And that's one thing with the grade 5 and 6 girls thing too. Please take a note of this. You'll be playing 30-minute halves. 5th grade is 25, but again, since you're playing the 6th grade rules, you'll be playing 30-minute halves. I'm gonna some of that. Okay, play balance. Let me just talk about that real quick. This is basically when a couple things. Let's say a team from Ashburn has 16 players on it for a 99 game, and a team from Percival has 10 players on it. And you show up to the game, and the Percival team is short 2 players, so they only have 7 or 9. I can't add 8 players. You can loan them a couple players for the game. Okay, so that is really the preferred method. The other way to do it is you could play down a player and play 8v8 or 7v7. It's just, if you do this, I mean, I totally get it. It's hard for some kids to want to go play on somebody else's team, but people are going to get less playing time on the team that has 16. I would say if it was me doing it, I would have a different player, maybe like every 15 minutes playing for the other team, to give them a break. Hopefully that's not going to happen. I feel like all our teams are pretty full. So hopefully it won't come to that. Player positions, all ages, just you're encouraged to rotate. Obviously, when you're at U19 boys, they know where they want to play and where they want to play. But when they're young, don't pigeonhole the players, get them to try all different positions. Competitive balance rule, came up with this a while back when the team was losing by 4 goals. You can actually add an extra player to the field. This is for 77 and 99 only. And then once that deficit is reduced to 3, that specific extra player is removed. This is totally up to you as the losing coach if you want to add another player. I feel like sometimes it causes more issues than not because you just got one other player on the field that maybe they're not really doing anything. But again, the ref may or may not pay attention to this. So if you're keeping track of the score and you get down by 4 goals and you want to add another player, please notify the ref, hey ref, we're down by 4 goals, I'm going to add my player, and they should let another player on the field. Score reporting. Okay, I talked about this a little bit before. I'm also going to take scores from Challenge 1 teams, not for seeding for anything, but I like to just keep track to kind of see how things are going and how even and balanced the teams are. So again, Ashley and I will be sending out a Google Sheet in the next week or so, and it's just something you can use just again every Sunday, get in the habit of going on, and it's a drop down. You just pick what you coach, where you were, what the score was. That's it. That's all you have to do. Referees. I will say in the last 2 years, our ref program has gotten so much better. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, I feel like we have more refs. I feel like we have better refs. We have a great referee mentor program. We do our best. We have a referee assigning crew that actually assigns our refs. They kind of work the top and work their way down. So they start with U19s and work their way down. So it's usually the Rec 1 games that don't get coverage. For third and fourth grade, you will only have a center. And then for fifth and up, we try and get a full crew, a center and two assistant refs. Just please remember not to yell or criticize, especially at the kids. You don't need to know their name, because I can tell you, if you have a problem with the ref, you can let me know later. I know who they are. Just say thank you, move on, whether you won or lost. And we love to hear when a ref's done a good job. We had this one female ref, her name is Christy, and I got so many nice emails about her last season. I was so happy when I finally met her. So it's always good to hear the good news along with the bad. Just remember to be a positive role model. There's no verbal or obviously physical abuse. We don't get a ton of this every year, but we do get one or two that the coach gets to come in here and have a nice little chat with Darren, and you might not end up coaching the next season. So just please keep in mind, to be on your best behavior, and the parents will follow your role, your mood and your role. Just clean up the field before you leave. Maybe put one of the parents or kids in charge of that after every game. They could also check for lost and found. Oh my gosh, how many emails we get about people that have left their jackets or their ball or their water bottle. So it's good to just do a quick check before you leave. Again, resources, we're under that coach's info center. I'm always available. Darren's always available. So feel free to reach out to us with any type of, I'm the admin support, Darren definitely for the technical support. And good luck. We could not do this without you. You guys are awesome. You're volunteering your time. Hopefully you'll have some great valuable time with your kids or somebody else's kids if you're a non-parent volunteer. And we really do value you, and you'll make it fun for the kids. So that is pretty much all I got. I talked really fast, 45 minutes. Okay, that's pretty good. Ashley, have there been any questions in the chat group that are good for the group, or no? Ashley fell asleep, right?
No, I'm still here. Sorry. I'm just going back and looking through. I was trying to catch all the questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Can you pull up the slide that has the classic and high school game information just for a couple of coaches so they can see it?
Yeah, what do they need to know? I got a
Just
profile.
like, oh, you don't want to go back? How long is the half break in classic?
Is the what?
And then
the high school. So high school is two 40-minute halves. You'll have seven. Let's see, you have 7 regular games, and then you'll have the playoffs on the 28th. And you play 11v11. Do any of the high school coaches have a question other than that?
I think the question was, how long is halftime?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I think it's probably like 5 minutes. I allow 2 hours between games. So if there's a U19 boys game at 9, like the next game won't start till 11. I'm guessing 5 minutes. And if it's really hot, they'll allow a water break too. But I don't think that was on the slide. Let's look. While I'm looking that up, Ashley, what was the classic question?
that's what I was talking about, the halves.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to look at the high school modified rules real quick. Got some fast internet in Leesburg today. Okay. Oh, that's playoffs. So your practices are 90 minutes. Okay. And that's actually a good, I didn't bring that up. So if you're coaching 3rd through 6th grade, your practices are 1 hour. If you're 7th grade and up, it's an hour and a half. I want the answer to this question. Okay, let's see. Boy, now I know why people call me. They're probably like, I can't find anything on the website. Just a second, here we go. Here we go. The bridge rules are all down here. There we go. So Bridge Rules High School. Here we go. 2 40-minute halves, goalkeeper, substitutions, heading, slide tackling. It's interesting. It doesn't say anything about halftime. I guess it can be whatever the ref decides. I'm going to find that out. But let's go with 5. Are there any other questions specific to not just yourself independently, but an age group or something that would be beneficial for the group?
Hey, Karen, it's Chris. So 2 questions. I think another coach asked this as well, but are there playing time requirements for Classic?
Yes, it is still 50% if they come to 1 practice per week.
Okay.
Are you concerned about the size of your roster?
Nope.
Okay, good. Some people
Just-
should.
Want to make sure we're following the rules. The other thing, I think someone else asked about this too, but I'm curious for the playoffs. You mentioned you may have 1 game, may have 2 games. Is it just that one Saturday? Like, how do you
It
do
is.
play 1 game?
It is. So, okay, so I'll give you an example. If, let's take 8th grade girls, I think there's 8 teams. So how that day will break up will be in 2 divisions of 4. And so first place will play 4th place and second place will play 3rd place. So that'll be your morning game at like 9 o'clock. And then the 2 winners will play again that day at like 3 o'clock. But if you're, let's say there's an odd division, which I don't think I have any odd divisions this year, so that might not happen. But let's say there was a group of 7, there might be an odd division where you might have first place playing the winner of 2nd and 3rd or something. So you'd only have 1 game.
Okay. Okay. So it's either like a 4-team bracket or somebody gets a bye.
That's
Okay,
a good
thanks.
way to explain it. Yes. Any other
Yeah,
questions?
Aaron, hey, this is Mike. Is there a limit to the number of assistant coaches that can be on the sidelines?
Okay, thank you for asking that, because I should have mentioned this. Yes. No, I can explain more. Okay, so during practice, you can have as many assistant coaches helping you as you want. This guy chases the ball. This other person works with the goalkeepers. But during the game, we want you as the head coach and one assistant coach with you. So what I would do is decide that up front with my assistants. Look, on game day, I'm going to have Joe with me. Joe's is the guy who is really good at telling me when I need to sub someone in. He's really good at keeping the voice still. Joe's going to be my guy, like, during the game. And everyone else needs to sit over with the parents, because it gets so crazy when you play a team where you've got one guy with no assistants and you look over and you have a team of like 6 people. And I know some people, I've been doing this a long time, I've probably become jaded, but some people I think offer to assist because they feel like it gives them the up to get their kid on the team. But then you have people that really do want to assist and they really do want to help out. So you don't want to say no to anyone who wants to help, but we can't have a whole crew on the sideline. So And if you don't want to just have Joe on the sideline, you can switch and say, hey, each Saturday, a different one of you can help me out. But yeah, let's try and do that. So that was an excellent question.
Thank you.
Nobody else?
Hi, somebody asked a question on goalie gloves. Do we need to get
Yeah.
them?
I mean, I would say if you're doing, a third grader probably doesn't need to be wearing goalie gloves, but they probably want to wear goalie gloves. We might have some here in our donation stash. I mean, and definitely if you're gonna go buy some, don't buy anything expensive. You could go to Play It Again Sports or Walmart and probably get a pair for, under $10. It's the high school kids who probably need to be wearing the nice padded goalie gloves. And by that time, they know they want to be a goalie and they're going to have their own goalie gloves because they stink. I had a daughter who was a goalie, and yeah, those gloves do not smell good after a while. But as a coach, you might want to keep a cheap pair in your bag.
Karen, hi, this is Megan. A question for you.
Sure.
For the soccer practice, I looked I think it was 12 weeks. Is it all of them that you have covered for every practice? For some reason, I feel like you guys are short.
Okay, so it should go through. Let me
It was
look at
12 weeks, two different things per the week is what I saw it as. And I looked through them all and I'm like, I think we're short.
You
I
might
thought
be.
more is to come.
It might be. Jamie may not have uploaded them all. Sometimes she only uploads the first week, so I'm impressed that you have more than that.
Yeah.
It should actually go for Rec 2. I think the last game is the 21st of October. So for Rec 2 and Challenge 1, I think the last game is the 21st. Let me add it up.
Classic is
1, 2, 3. No, I'm sorry. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because there's 4 Saturdays in September. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so Rec 2 Challenge 1, your last week of games is October 21st. So that's your last week of practice, the 16th. For Classic, your last week of practice is going to be the 23rd of October. So just go ahead and write down whatever you have now. She may not have put in that for a couple reasons. One, that's a playoff weekend, and another maybe because of light. If you have a late practice, I don't know what the daylight's going to be like at that time.
okay, cool. Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I have a quick question. Did I see correctly that starting in 7th grade, they can slide tackle?
What did who was paying attention? What did the slide say?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, only do it if they know how to do it. Otherwise, someone's going to get hurt or they're going to get carded or, yeah. No, you don't have to teach slide tackling. I will say, even watching my daughters who played high school soccer, I think there was one girl who could successfully slide tackle in high school. So I don't think it's something that everybody needs to be doing or worried about teaching.
For Classic, is there can we play a goalkeeper who basically wants to specialize in goalkeeping the whole game?
Yep, you sure can.
Okay. And I'm glad we don't have to teach slide tackling, because I was wondering who's going to come out and slide on the ground and show these girls.
It's like learning. I played softball as a kid. I was never a slider. I couldn't do it. I was too scared.
Thanks.
Karen, one last question.
Sure.
So that new app, such a bummer you're changing it to a new app now for the scores and games and all that. That should be coming out this coming weekend, and we'll just keep an eye out for a text and all that good jazz then.
Yes.
What was wrong with the other one? We had that for so many years. It was easy.
Are you talking about Game Changer?
I liked it. Yeah.
Were made. Boo.
Oh, I love Game Changer too.
Yeah.
I was like, all I ever heard was, how do you use this app? This app stinks. Blah blah blah. Oh, that's really
easily
funny.
implemented. It was great. I'm like, here's my roster. This is
Well-
fabulous. And now you have to change it on me.
Well,
on.
you know, life is nothing if not change, but I will, I will say, if you've used TeamSnap, because you have kids that play and travel, it's more like that.
Okay.
I think the chatting feature might be better, like just even just making changes. I don't know. It's supposed to be better. We shall see.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Karen, I actually have a question around the app. So we'll get the invite and the text as the coach. Do the parents get that
Yes.
response at the same time?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's a great question. Yep.
Hi, Karen. This is Steve. I just wanted to confirm the length of game times for the Classic Division. Is that 35 minutes or 45 minutes?
35 per half.
Gotcha.
You'll
Okay,
have a tough
thanks.
time with all those players on your team. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I'm going to figure it out one way or the other. Thanks.
I appreciate you. Okay. If you guys don't know, some of our teams have a lot of players on them, especially our high school teams. We have the most high school players we've ever had registered for us. We have 220 10th through 12th grade boys. We have close to that, maybe 215 total high school girls. And then there's like another 100 ninth grade boys, which is pretty amazing. So I don't want to hear about anybody who doesn't have enough kids for a game. We're not rescheduling because 3 people have homecoming or prom or whatever they do or whatever. You guys should have enough.
Hey, I was just wondering what the game field size would be for challenge 1.
Yeah, so it's 77 and the field size is like approximately 50 by 70.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. We've got 2 minutes. Who wants to end with a really good question or a joke of the day?
Karen, this is Dan. Do you know when uniforms are going to be delivered? Because we ordered in that really short window that we had, but I haven't seen them come yet.
You know, I'd kind of like to know. Could you raise your hand if you've gotten a uniform? Could you raise your hand? Okay, hopefully some of you have ordered one. I don't know, Dan, I'm gonna have to look into that for you. When did you order?
The day you sent out a notice saying order uniforms now.
Because you've got a week?
Yeah, we ordered it that night.
Okay, all right.
I mean, I know I can still wear the red, white Capellis that we have. I just know
Yeah.
they'll be excited to wear the new ones. So, but I know parents are also going to start asking me.
Well, I know they were in a hurry to get all the travel uniforms out because their tournament started last weekend. So
Yeah.
now that that's over, hopefully they're focusing on this. And again, like today, a big truck came and Ashley and I are like staring out the window, hoping it's the high school jerseys, but it was the ice truck.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll let you know if I hear anything. And if you hear anything, please let me know.
Thank you.
The jerseys don't change for Classic. If they still fit from last year, we're still okay.
Yes, you are. Okay, I'm gonna take the silence as we're good to go.
Thank
It's-
you.
It's 8
Thank
o'clock.
you, Karen.
Oh, thank you guys so
Thanks,
much. I
Karen.
really do appreciate you. And if you see me out on the field one day, make sure you come up and introduce yourself, even if you've already done it 5 times. All right, you guys have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
you.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you.
Yep.